Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Disrespect from the national media. That's something that we should be pretty much used to at this point as a Tennessee fan. The disrespect when it comes to the Heisman Trophy, preseason rankings. A lot of you guys like to talk about star rankings when it comes to On3, 247 Sports, Rivals, whoever the case may be. A kid commits to Tennessee, all of a sudden their star power goes away. They go from a 5-star to a 4-star, 4-star to a 3-star. We've talked a lot recently about the Heisman Trophy. Why? Because a lot of us truly believe that Nico Iamaleava is going to have a chance, an opportunity to go win a Heisman Trophy. Will they ever send a Heisman Trophy to Tennessee? We've talked about Hendon Hooker getting the screw job, not getting an invitation to New York. Obviously, Peyton Manning. We look back at Johnny Majors. We look at history and how that trophy has been presented. But when it comes to the national media, there is always a level of disrespect for the University of Tennessee, and that's what I want to talk about today. It's that time of year, boys and girls, where we sit down and we make way too early predictions. You'll see the national media do it, local media do it. I'm still sitting here right now. Look, it's February, and I'm trying to decide, is this a 9-3 team or is this a 10-2 team, college football playoff or bust? I'm taking you guys through the process with me. I'm still trying to make up my mind. Is my official prediction going to be 9 wins or is it going to be 10 wins? A lot of that is going to depend on how the spring plays out, what the roster turnover looks like, but we're going to take a look at some of the national experts, right? We're not experts or insiders here. This is for the fans, by the fans, but some of these experts out there at ESPN. It's an article that says College Football 2024, who will make the 12-team playoff? We roll down here, it says last week, ESPN's college football reporters. I wish they would have put experts. Should have put experts right there. Let's call them experts. Let's say it. Last week, ESPN's college football experts made their cases for the players, teams, and games that they're the most excited to see this fall. Goes on to say, this week they're talking about the 12-team playoff, what the issues with the format might be, and which teams will be able to make the most of the new system. They'll also give their way too early predictions for the 12 teams that will compete for the national title. Now, the first thing I did talks about the article last week where they went back and they looked at some games, some players, some teams that they were excited about. Here's the games that our so-called experts are excited about. Miami at Florida. Florida. How could anybody be excited about Florida? Sunbelt Billy on the way out the door. Texas at Michigan. Georgia at Alabama. Ohio State at Oregon. And then if you're going to pick a first-time showdown for the SEC, in the SEC, Georgia at Texas. They also mentioned Florida State at Notre Dame. Kind of interesting to me. No mention of Tennessee anywhere. Go ahead and give you a spoiler alert. Anywhere in this article. But, I get it. We as Tennessee fans, right, you pull up the schedule, you take a look at who Tennessee's going to play in 2024, we're obviously going to get excited, right? We're going to get excited about that Florida game because it's the Gators. It's a rivalry for us. But if I'm looking at it from a national media perspective, I'm not going to say anything about that game on October the 12th. Of course, we get excited about Georgia. That game on November the 2nd against Kentucky after Gerald Mincey has ran his mouth. Everything that he has said, going to come out, punch Tennessee in the mouth. We're going to return the glory to the Kentucky. We're Kentucky's daddy for a reason. But you go also look at that Alabama game. For me, I think from a national perspective, that's an interesting one because Tennessee, obviously, they ended the streak, beat Alabama inside of Neyland Stadium in 2022. 2023, they had a 2-touchdown lead. Yes, they choked. They blew it away. But the bottom line is the talent gap is closing between Tennessee and Alabama. But if I'm a national media member, I'm looking at an interesting game on Tennessee's schedule. It's that Oklahoma game. It's got to be September the 21st. Josh Heupel returning to Oklahoma. They may not be talking about it now, but guess what? They're going to be talking about it then. We're going to be talking about that when that game rolls around. The national media will be milking that for all it's worth. Some teams that they said could take a big step forward. Ole Miss. That's the sexy team going into 2024. I wish Lane Kiffin was on the schedule for the Vols in 2024. They also mentioned Syracuse, Michigan State, Utah, Baylor, USC, SMU, and Virginia Tech. That's the teams to watch. The teams that can take a step forward in 2024. Again, no mention of Tennessee. The people that are involved in this article, we're going to take a look at their way too early predictions for the 12-team playoff. David Hill, Harry Lyles, Chris Lowe, Bill Conley, Andrew Adelson, Heather Dinich. We're going to look at who they have listed here in the college football playoff. No surprise, Georgia all over everybody's list. Ohio State, Clemson, a little bit of Utah, Kansas State, Florida State. No mention once again of the Tennessee Volunteers. Why is that? Do you guys believe, as we sit here in February, that Tennessee has a legitimate shot at a college football playoff? How do the players respond to the disrespect from the national media? That's what we're going to talk about here coming up next. As always, guys, do me a favor, midway through this video, smash a thumbs up. It's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, like I said at the top, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. It is also fan-funded. You want to support the channel, hit that join button down below. You can become a member of the channel for just $1. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But if you don't have the money to give, don't give. Just subscribe, click the bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. All right, let's jump back into it. Let's take a look at this article from A to Z Sports. Tennessee Vols senior offensive lineman Cooper Mays explains how much he pays attention to the preseason predictions for the Vols. This is written by Zach Reagan. Says offensive lineman Cooper Mays knows the preseason predictions are out there. Most of the predictions have Tennessee missing the 12-team playoff in 2024, but he doesn't pay attention to any of that. He says, and it's not because he's trying to get a master's degree in coach speak. It's because Mays doesn't have time to waste on scenarios that have not happened yet. Says he recently appeared on Off the Hook Sports and was asked by host Dave Hooker, shout out Dave, what's up buddy, about whether or not he pays attention to any of those predictions. Here's a quote from Cooper Mays. He says, I don't have the binders on. I mean, that stuff doesn't really even matter. It's not even real at the end of the day. It's fake. Until you're in the playoff, it's all fake. Like, why are we even talking about it? He said, I mean, if you asked me 2 years ago, we were the #1 team in the country. If we were going to the national championship, I would have been like, hell yeah, we're going to be in the national championship. Are you kidding me? But you know how it goes. We obviously weren't in the playoffs, so I don't know. It's all fake. There's no reason to look any further than the next destination on your schedule. That's a senior leader there in Cooper Mays and the way he responds to the outside noise. And look, a lot of people are probably going to come at me with this same narrative, this same direction. Why are we talking about this? You settled it on the field. Yeah, they're going to settle it on the field. When we roll around to the fall, they're going to go out there. They're going to play the games. That's how college football works. But we as fans, we talk college football all day, every day, right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. So that's what we're going to look at is what the national media has to say. But again, I say to you, does Tennessee have a shot at 10-2? I think 10-2 is the number. 10-2 and an appearance in the college football playoff. I mean, this football team, you'd think they would take that step forward. That's why, I get it. Everybody wants to talk about Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss and what he's done in the transfer portal, but nobody wants to talk about the fact that Josh Heupel brought back his entire offensive line outside of Gerald Mincey. Oh, by the way, we got to upgrade there in Lance Hurd via the transfer portal. John Campbell jumping over to the right side. I would like to add a guy at guard. We'll see how that plays out in the spring, but you got to be pretty happy with what this offensive line looks like heading into 2024. Your wide receivers, all you're losing is Ramel Keaton, a guy that most of us complained about the entire year. Does Chaz Nimrod, does Caleb Webb, do they take that next step? Does the kid they added from Tulane, Brazel, does he take a step? Does he fill in on that outside? Is he an upgrade over Ramel Keaton? What about Dante Thornton? I think you've got some competition there on the opposite side of Brew McCoy. Competition breeds success, and I think we're going to see that throughout spring camp, man. I'm excited to see what happens at that wide receiver position opposite of Brew McCoy. The tight end room. You lost 2 really good tight ends. You got to replace those. What do? You go out in the portal, and you add the #1 ranked tight end in the portal. You've also got Ethan Davis, a guy that has shown some athleticism, talent when healthy. We saw it in the orange and white game last year. A guy that's got a lot of hype behind him. I think the running back room, yeah, you're losing Jalen Wright, really good running back. Jabari Small. I think Dylan Sampson, Cam Seldon are a solid 1-2 punch. You're returning most of your defensive line. You're replacing Aaron Beasley with Keenan Peely. We got some young, talented linebackers. Does Arian Carter, Jeremiah T-Lander, one of those guys kind of take a step? What about Elijah Herring? I know we were frustrated with him at times in 2023, but I think he's a guy going into his junior year. Can he take a step? We're trying to figure out the back end. It is an overhaul in the secondary. But what do you think? Is this disrespect? Or do you think that, is it your opinion? I don't think that Tennessee is a team that makes the 12-team playoff. Again, you look at the schedule, 9-3, 10-2, where are you? I think you roll out of September undefeated if you get that win on the road against Oklahoma. I think you do that. you're looking at 10 wins. You're looking at 10 wins. Yeah, the Gators are the Gators. I think we're going to see something very similar to 2022, and I keep telling you guys, buckle up and get ready because it's going to be a fun one. You get that win against Oklahoma, guess what? Florida doesn't want any. Somebody asked me the other day, Boogie, what happens if Tennessee rolls into October the 19th at 6-0? Well, let me tell you something. Tennessee's going to go beat Alabama in Neyland Stadium for the second time in 2 years at home. That's what's going to happen. What do you guys think? Is it disrespect? Is it disrespect, or do you think that Tennessee deserves to be in the conversation during the preseason? I want to hear from you in the comment section. As always, do me a favor, make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. I would greatly appreciate that. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Got all kinds of fun designs. That link is in the description below as well. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.